I don't know how they did it, but the BET Awards pulled off a feat celebrating 20 years of the actual award show and 40 years of the BET network. They delivered such a powerful show. And to help us break down all the highlights from the politically charged award show is our friend MTV News' Domati Pongo. Domati, thanks for being here with us, man.
Thank you for having me as always. Hey, Melicia, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
Let's talk about the BET Awards, y'all. It was amazing to watch. Obviously, they pulled it off virtually as we're all still in the middle of this pandemic, but it also was really poignant. So let's just start with Domity. What did you think of the overall tone of the show?
I think they struck a really good balance. This award show, aside from the technical challenges, was a really tricky one to produce, right? Because they had to balance the gravity of the moment we're in with the need for us to just kind of escape from the news cycle a little bit and just experience some Black joy. And I think that they did they had a good way of balancing those two things with the comedian like Amanda Seales hosting this, juxtaposed against some of those more powerful soul-stirring performances from Kiara Sheard or Alicia Keys and John Legend.
Right. I want to talk about the opening, since you mentioned performances. The opening where we saw Nas, YG, and Public Enemy rap Fight the Power. It was so powerful. I mean, this is a song that was originally created in 1989 for Spike Lee's film, Do the Right Thing. And it has become an anthem for the Black community, especially during times like this. What was your thought about the performance?
That was one of my favorite parts of the show. In fact, we talked about it today in our episode of Need to Know, recapping the awards. And we talked about Rhapsody's verse, which really stuck out to me for this particular line where she says, "You love Black Panther, but you hate Fred Hampton." And what I loved about that line was it brought to the forefront this idea that, this country profits so much from Black creativity. And even in this quarantine, we've seen it from the DJ D-Nice's virtual dance parties that we all get a chance to enjoy, to the versus battles that we've enjoyed primarily from African-American artists, R&B and hip hop artists. And it's like when we begin to talk about Black activism, the country kind of balks at that. Yet, that activism and that voice is present in all of our art, even the art that the country tends to celebrate. So the performance as a whole was poignant. The fact that YG was a part of this, because listen, you expect Rhapsody, you expect Nas and Black Thought, and of course Public Enemy to talk about these powerful politically charged messages. But YG, who's seen as a gangster rapper, has also been very vocal on the political front. So including him in this was just a testament to how dynamic of an artist he is.
I think it also set the tone for the rest of the night, right? And what we can expect from this award show. And there were so many people who, used their art and their performance to send really powerful messages. And someone who did that so beautifully was DaBaby. I mean, I had chills watching his performance of Rockstar. And obviously there was a nod to George Floyd. How did you feel about it, D?
Man, I loved his performance. I know he did face some backlash because folks on Twitter, online, and Melicia was telling me about this. A lot of folks were talking about the fact that he didn't speak out immediately once George Floyd was killed. And people criticizing him because they looked at this performance as a way for him to capitalize on that moment. And he said he wanted to wait because he didn't want to talk about it, in the hype of all the hysteria. But I often caution people against being so judgmental of celebrities who take a beat before speaking out about social issues. Because as you guys know, public figures are just like us. When these big moments happen, sometimes we're all still processing what's going on. And oftentimes they have to read up and figure out how they feel about it emotionally. They have to do the work to figure out the knowledge of the right thing to say. And artists like DaBaby, use their platform and their art to get their message and their voice across. And sometimes it takes time to find the right atmosphere and platform to speak out rather than immediately after something happens. And by the way, I think that's why we get so many troubling takes immediately after these type of social events happen, because people feel the need to prematurely speak out. Something happened, I have to say something. And they don't always say the right thing. So I actually applaud artists who take a time to take a beat, take a moment, see how they feel, and then speak about it appropriately.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because to me, when I see DaBaby, I see a Black man who has lived through experiences of his own when it comes to the law enforcement and dealing with police in a negative way. So you can't take that away from him. I saw the performance and I just thought that it spoke to the whole, it could have been me factor. You know, a lot of Black men saw George Floyd being murdered and felt as if it could have been them. So I felt like he really hit the mark on the performance. And of course, Roddy Ricch came in to do his verse. He also won Best Album of the Year. So it was a powerful performance when it comes to the both of them. And I definitely commend DaBaby for speaking out in this way. You know, artists, they're going to protest in a way that works for them.
And wrapping things up real quick, though, you know, obviously there were all those poignant and powerful moments, but there were some moments of levity too, and that was thanks to host Amanda Seales. Domity, what made her the perfect host for this particular BET Awards?
Well, what I love about Amanda Seales' platform, she's more than a comic, right? You know, she's an actress. She does so many different things. But on her platform, she has been talking about social issues. And I think she's even more poignant there in often ways than she is when she's doing stand-up sometimes. You know, her voice, her platform is so, with the Smart, Funny, and Black tour, with the podcast, with her, what she does on social media, you know, her voice has been so important, especially at a time like this. And for having her at the helm of this show, it was the right beat. She did it from home. She showed us the green screen. She figured it out. I love the outfits changes. And I love that they called out, listen, this isn't normal. This is a new normal right now. And we're doing the best we can with it. So I applaud her for just being out there, doing it, and getting the damn job done, girl.
It was not an easy task, but she delivered and pulled it off. And I think it's safe to say this is going to be a BET Awards that people remember and talk about for a very long time. So our thanks to you, as always, my friend, for helping us recap the highlights. Make sure you guys follow Domity on social media for more. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate you always. Thank you, guys.
Now, Beyonce might not have performed at the BET Awards, but she did give us plenty of moments to talk about, to break down Queen B's biggest moments at the BET Awards. We're welcoming back on-air talent, entertainment journalist, and B-storian is what we're going to call you, Miss Gia Peppers.
Gia, I am so honored. Thank you so much. I am adding that to my Twitter and Instagram bio today.
Yes.
Let's talk about our girl Beyonce. Obviously, she had a big night accepting the 2020 Humanitarian Award. So let's start with just your initial reactions of her really moving acceptance speech. What do you think, Gia?
You know, even just watching the package that BET was able to put together with Mama Tina and all of the work that she's done with her Be Good nonprofit organization, we hear about the news stories, but because we live in a 24-hour news cycle, we don't always get to compile all those stories together and see the actual work she's doing in Africa and in Houston at HBCUs, ensuring that our Black kings and queens who are in college are able to make a change in the world because of her support. I think Beyonce is not praised enough in that way. And so I'm so happy that BET finally said, you know what? She is kind of saving us and doing some things that are really worth pointing out. So it was beautiful. Her acceptance speech was short and sweet and everything we needed. But we were all just blown away by how beautiful she looked. I don't know.
Stunning.
She
What
looks
lighting,
gorgeous.
what makeup, who did the soft glam and the bone straight look. But dear God, I was watching it like, wait, I need to rewind this just to get into how stunning she is as a woman. There's just literally no better person to look at for inspiration when it comes to beauty and at-home glam than Beyonce. So I tried mine today with my, but it's not the same.
You're popping, you're glowing too.
Thank you. But I just think Beyonce is just such a testament to the power of understanding your sphere of influence and understanding how much good you can do when you just decide to start doing good.
Right.
Because of her platform, because of how many people follow her, she knows that her voice changes the world for a better. And so she just does that consistently. And I think BET was on the mark when they gave her the 2020 Humanitarian Award.
Yeah, and I think Tyler Perry summed it up perfectly too, because he was a part of the beautiful presentation. And he said, listen, it's easy to be a superstar and take all of your money and go live your life and not to think about anyone else. But it's one with heart that actually changes the world. And Beyonce is that one with heart. Now, of course, we can all agree that she looked beautiful, but also what she was saying was powerful. When she said, look, we have to vote like our life depends on it because it does. Snap, snap, snap. She said people are banking on us not showing up at these local elections, and we need to get out there and do it. So what I took away from it mainly was her call to action for all of us. And of course, Michelle Obama. We have to talk about that really quick too.
Yeah.
That intro, the bestie intro. Go ahead and talk about it, Gia. What were your thoughts?
My favorite thing of watching Michelle Obama post-president's life is her natural curly hair and her new
Yes.
life. She's just like, hello, welcome back. This is Southside Chicago Michelle Obama, and I'm here to talk to Houston's own Beyonce. You know, even in the intro when she said, we all know her, we all love her, and she's this little girl from Houston, I'm sure everybody just started screaming like, yes, finally time for Beyonce, because they seem to have this beautiful rapport where they're, even in like a text thread, they're probably just like, hey girl, saw you change the world today, love that, talk to you later. I just can't imagine how much power is in that thread alone. And I think we got a snippet of that in the way that she was able to just talk about her friend, a young woman who is, you know, in her late 30s, a mom and a person who's changing the world. And I think they recognize that platform on each other's sides. Like they understand, like, you're Michelle Obama, I'm Beyonce.
Right.
Let's come together and continue to change the world. And I think that little intro that she did was such a sweet testament to their friendship.
It was a big night for Beyonce, but you know, it was also a big night for her friends, family, and collaborators. And when I say collaborators, I'm talking about her own daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, who took home her first ever BET award for Brown Skin Girl. Do you think they celebrated? Like, do you think they made it a big deal for Blue? Be like, Blue, you won a BET award.
In my head, Blue Ivy runs the household. You know, I'm the oldest of three as well, so I feel like I understand Blue a lot. You have to keep the energy in the household together as the oldest child. No, but I think Blue is such a beautiful young girl, and we've seen her grow up into be this boss woman. While she doesn't speak to us a lot, just in the photos that we see of her, like talking to Beyonce at the MTV Awards or talking to Jay-Z on the football fields when they go to the Super Bowls, like you can tell she is the star of their show.
Obviously, she won her BET award. Who knows if we'll ever get a live performance of Brown Skin Girl? Because, you know, I would love to see Blue Ivy on the stage. But I think we can bet that she will make an appearance in Black is King, the film that Beyonce announced is dropping on Disney Plus on July 31st, which is her visual album for The Lion King, The Gift. Gia, what do you think? Obviously, we got the trailer during the BET Awards. Chills. I've watched it at least a dozen times now. What do you think we can expect? Because this was a project that was long in the making, long before George Floyd's death. But I think it's going to take on a different meaning now, don't you think?
Yes. She said that. She posted a very long, beautiful caption last night, just as the end of the BET Awards were airing. And she just said, you know, I understand that this time is so much bigger than me. And she even said she feels like she's walking more in her purpose and what she's been called to do as a performer, as a Black woman who literally has the world's eyes on her at all times. And I think she understands that in the power of this moment, when so many young Black men and women, old Black men and women, baby Black men and women, we are tired and we feel like we need to be seen and heard and affirmed in many ways. And I think she understands that this is the moment to give us a reminder of who we are. And at the end of the day, yes, we here in this country, we are not treated as we should be. We aren't given the respect, we aren't given the justice. But when we were in Africa, when we started, we were kings and queens. And I think just from the imagery that she's shown in the 1-minute trailer, all of the moments that she was able to gather, all of the dancing, the singing, all of the celebration of Blackness is going to be shown back to us and just empower us to continue to be in the fight for the change that we need to see today in a way that is inspiring and reminds us of the ancestors who fought for us, who were the kings and queens. And I think it's brilliant to see her grow as an activist in this day and age. Beyonce is a singer, dancer, actress, mama, nonprofit organization holder, and an activist. And I think she's staking her claim in that with this film, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Quickly, let's talk about two performers that are also in Beyonce's orbit. Let's talk about Megan Thee Stallion, because that we knew she was going to do something big, but I was not anticipating this like Mad Max inspired performance. What did you guys think of it? And also, were you a little, I don't want to say disappointed, because she served us a whole meal, but were you still hoping for a little Beyonce cameo somewhere for the Savagery mix?
When they started to do the ad libs, and it was like, I was like, ah!
But
then I kind of like, I would have literally thrown my television. So BT's were like, hey, we got to make sure that we are not being sued for people's damaged property. But no, I'm you know, this is COVID. I'm sure Beyonce was like, look, sis, I would love to be in the desert with 14 dancers, but I can't. I've got kids and a husband to take care of. I can't be out there. I think the way that they still kept the Beyonce verse and killed the choreo was beautiful. And even in the beginning, like there were several different inspirations you can see from Meg's point of view. I even got a little bit of Who Run the World with the shoulder pads that she was wearing. And the way that she was dancing in the first part of the even in the formations, in the first parts of that video montage that we saw, I was like, oh, okay, she's giving us Beyonce homage.
Chloe and Halle, Beyonce's proteges, they really turned out a memorable performance too. You know, in a politically charged show, that was the one that was a little more, it was like a moment of levity, you know, and I got to just like enjoy their excellence, right? And you talk about Black Girl Magic, that was magical. What did you guys think of their performance?
They're so, first of all, they're stunning in their voices, their vocals, out of this world. You know, Chloe and Halle, I spoke to them in April, and they talked about how their new album, Ungodly Hour, is them stepping into their womanhood. They're saying what they want and doing what they want. And we kind of saw that in this performance of Forgive Me and Do It. They're not these little girls who were discovered by Beyonce in 2015 anymore. They're becoming women, and it was a breath of fresh air. Their makeup was light. Their outfits were phenomenal. It was pure Black girl magic. We don't have to do much. We just need to be us and show up with our talent, and that's enough.
That's good. I love that.
That was really good.
That was beautiful. And I think even to that point of them growing up in our whole eyes, they were in Tyler Perry's movie with Angela Bassett years ago as little baby girls. And then they, you know, sang on YouTube for years. And then when Beyonce finally decided to make them these beautiful stars that we see today, and not make them because they were already stars, but to sign them and really support them as talent, really just changed the trajectory of their careers.
It's amazing to watch them step into their womanhood and like really own the moment and the opportunity that they've been given. You know, Beyonce gave them a lift, but they're soaring on their own. So it was just so cool to see them take that stage. And that performance was one that like could only happen this year virtually. It was cool. I was like, that should be a music video.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Right? There was a lot of those moments actually. But Gia, thank you as always for kikiing with us, talking about our girl Beyonce. We do appreciate it.
I had so much fun. Thank you guys so much. And I just can't wait to see what else we can expect from Beyonce after this film.
Look, I know, I have a feeling you'll be back chatting.
I was going to say, save the date, August 1st. We're going to have you talking about Black is King.
Black is King. I will be the Beyonce aficionado whenever you need me.
I love it. Gia, thank you so much.
Girl.
All right, before we sign off, we need to talk about the clapback of all clapbacks that happened during the BET Awards last night. Blackie Starr Marseille Martin really served it to the trolls who criticized her look during her appearance during the award show. Take a look.
So I was on Twitter, and a lot of people have been addressing my hair or talking about my hair and how it looks like a grandma's wig. And and they're talking about my veneers, and this don't look like a veneer to me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Y'all, we are in quarantine, and we got more things to focus on than just my hair. Justice for Breonna Taylor.
Mel.
I was on the floor. First of all, when I saw people coming from Marseille, I'm like, y'all, she was the youngest executive producer in Hollywood at 13. Like, please be quiet. And then when she put the $100 bill up to her nose and started blowing her nose, I was like, that just says it all. Initially, when people started coming for her, she tweeted, she basically said that, you know, sorry, some of y'all don't like my hair or teeth, which are actually my teeth, by the way, because people thought it was veneers. Yeah. But she said, good thing I don't put my effort into trying to please everyone. I like it. Child, I'm 16 years old. Let me live. I'm trying to stay sane in quarantine. And to hear that response from a 16-year-old is just like, wow. I wish I had that mindset at that age.
I just love that she also had the sense of humor too. Like she did not take
Yes.
those lightly, but at the same time, she wasn't gonna let it affect her. She goes, "I'm gonna serve you with this." I mean, I wasn't expecting.
Right.
I actually thought she was really overcome with emotion, and all of a sudden, the $100
Me
bill.
too.
I'm like, "You."
Me
better.
too. She kind of tricked me a little bit. At first, I was like, "Oh, is she really?" But she's an actress, of course.
Ah,
I
right.
love how she ended it with, y'all, we have bigger and better things to worry about. Justice for Breonna Taylor. Period.
Amen. Period. On that note, oh my gosh, Marseille, you're a queen. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, you are.
And thank you, Queen Melicia. Had so much fun recapping the BET Awards with you. You guys, make sure you stick with the stream. Plenty of more entertainment news goodies coming your way today and this week. Thanks again, guys. See you tomorrow.